make sure the mics work.
They work because we're on.
That don't mean the mics don't work. Make sure.
Let's make sure.
Because you know how this thing gets.
Okay, then. See, look at that, Mike.
Okay.
Mike test 1, 2, 1, 2.
You gotta check.
Hey, y'all.
How y'all doing?
Welcome to Conversating, Conversing and Relating. I'm April Autumn.
I'm Coach Hughes. Why you gonna say it like that?
How did I say it?
You said it so lightly. I'm not saying you gotta say it heavy. You just said it.
Welcome to Conversation.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. How's everybody doing today?
Yes. Hey. Thank you, Sierra. Thank you.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Hey,
how you doing? That's what's up. Okay.
Yes.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We are back. We're actually live this time.
We're live. Last week we were
not live.
Memorex.
Yeah.
Remember that commercial?
Yeah, they still sell it, I think. Yeah,
they still tapes, recorders, cassettes.
Yeah, Memorex, they still sell it. Well, it's not like that. They still have tapes. Like they have the circle roll of tapes, not the
circle roll. I was talking about the cassette tapes, but
I guess cassette tapes. Yeah. I was talking about VHS.
Okay.
Yeah, because they still have tapes like that. Tape reels. I guess you call it tape reels. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I know there are young folks who are like, what the hell
What's a VHS?
What is she talking about? What is he talking about?
You know, that's sad because you should know what we're talking about when we talk about VHS. You got to know your history. Before CDs, there was something called VHS.
But some of them might not even know what a CD is.
Yeah.
Compact disc.
Memorex was a tape that you put in a tape player, and that came after the 8-track. It was based off the 8-track design. However, with the 8-track, you cannot rewind. You can only fast forward. And with the tape deck and the invention of the tape in the 80s, you can rewind, fast forward, pause, and in some cases record.
Do you know how many tapes I broke trying to rewind, play rewind, play rewind?
You just had a bad tape deck then, because it was eating up the tapes.
No, it was because never mind. I did it all the time. Like I wore my tapes out, but I guess I'm the only person that does that. So
yeah.
Really, sir?
Yeah, I'm just saying VHS. Look, Sarah says VHS and cassette. LOL. I used to have to record my mom's stories with VHS.
Yes, child.
That's what Black folk used VHS for. It was sad to record stories.
The stories.
Before TiVo, it was VHS, and you had to. If you had a decent VCR, you would look on your channel guide, which was a thing that they mailed to you every week.
Yeah.
It was a TV guide, and you would look on there and you would say, okay, my stories come on at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. So you would set the VCR if you had a good VCR, and you would be able to record your stories at that time. But if not, you had to enlist the help
of a neighbor, of a child, of a friend, somebody.
Yeah, somebody.
People would be sharing the tapes.
Yeah. Girl, watch last week's tapes.
Look, and then it would be somebody's sex tape that was recorded over in a blip.
Mistakenly. Because you could record tape. Like that was cool about VHS. You could record a whole show and then somebody could what's called dub over that. And it'd be important information and they just record over it. It was some kind of time.
Like your mama's sex tape.
Right. Well, my mom didn't have a sex tape, but yeah.
That you know of.
Yeah, that I know of. But
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No,
we don't know.
Because I remember I told you about a girl who I was.
Yeah, you did. Okay, don't say it.
And her mom. No, I'm not gonna say her name, but her mom. We found her mom's sex tape, and that was funny because she knew exactly where it was. So, yeah, that was funny. But anyway, VHS. We were out. We were doing our thing, doing self-care, practicing what we preach, basically.
We needed some self-care. I think we need some self-care today. Actually, can you hand me that envelope? Do you see me misting over here? Like, yo, yes. And the fan is on. Y'all just can't see it. But
hot.
in 2 seconds,
Somebody hot.
I'm going to be cold.
Somebody
you know
hot.
it.
Yeah.
Hey. Hey, Monica.
Then if the power went out, everything and everyone got in trouble. That's correct. That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So we were doing some self-care stuff. And
Sierra, thank you so much. You thought it was glow.
She thought it was
glow.
It
is. It also is remnants of, I'm still kind of sick, kind of not. I've been in class all day, all week, really. And so in a minute, I'm going to be cold. And it'll be fine, and we'll just figure it out. I know.
No, I don't. You be fine, because I just go through the hot and cold with you.
Is it that bad?
No, except when we're in the bed and you
turn into a furnace.
Then you kick the covers off, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there freezing, and then you're like, okay.
You're never under the covers anyway.
Am I really? I'm not under the covers?
Never.
Oh, yeah.
Never.
True. I like the cold.
You do.
Yeah. I'm weird.
You
I
are.
like warmth too. Like, so it's not like when it's cold outside, I'm just like, open the windows, let's let everything in. I'm not like that. So.
You like the option of a blanket?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But for the most part, you would like for your skin to be about 63 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sad that I know this.
Yeah. Anyway, we took time for ourselves and we needed to do some self-care. And that's what we did. So we pre-recorded a show, and there'll be more pre-recorded shows coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
Nothing non-personal. We love our live audience because we get good feedback.
Yeah.
But however, we have to, in this season of maneuvering and changing and doing other things and other business ventures, we're not slacking off. We're just trying to add more to the show. And so in the middle of trying to add more to the show, we have to pre-record some shows and still try to get that information out. Well, I think we did a pretty good job.
I think we did.
Pre-recorded shows.
It was okay. Yeah. We were no makeup.
Yeah,
we were just like, cool.
No. Well, I mean, I don't wear makeup anyway, but
I give you a little rouge. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I do not wear any makeup. I don't know what she's talking about. I do not put anything on.
Okay.
I'm naturally this light.
It wouldn't even be about light. It would be about like
once we go to TV though, they will put makeup on.
They will.
Yeah, they're gonna put makeup on it.
It will be fine.
Yeah, we're close to we're on that starting path to going to TV. So.
Right. Because I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
We'll be traveling soon. So that's all
we're just gonna say that we're close to going on TV. We're not gonna tell you what network, what streaming service, but if we're in a beginning, middle, and end phase, we're in the beginning phase right now.
It's exciting.
It is, because we've talked to some people and they've seen our show and they've seen our audience and they've seen our response. And most of all, what they liked is our message. Yeah. So our message is what resonates and how we try to help and stuff like that. And that's helped us get to this point of going on to a different level platform wise.
Right.
Still going to be YouTube, but YouTube plus TV others. And other stuff, and some monetization on some content, some content for members only content, stuff like that. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We will announce it as soon as it happens. Yeah. Also, we got your app coming out.
Yay! Tell them about it, because you did it. It wasn't me.
It wasn't.
It was you. It's all you. That technological stuff. That's your background.
Yeah, that's the background.
You did it. So what was it?
So you have an app coming out, and it's called Empower Her. And the app will be downloadable on Google and Apple stores. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it'll have tons of content.
Yeah.
Stuff that you can purchase, like bracelets that we sell that have different messages on it. We have shirts, we have ebooks, all kinds of stuff.
Lots of it is free too. Like, a lot of free content.
Yeah, that's the route we decided to take, because And if we do charge for stuff, it's not a lot.
It's not.
It's not a lot.
It's not. I'm giving a whole lot. In group,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, if you are in group,
Yeah.
you get a lot of things that are free, like a whole lot of things. And they're all things that we have created they are the mental children of us.
Right.
Brainchild. Yeah, there it is.
Brainchild.
I've been using my brain all day today.
Brainchild and brain farts.
You know what?
Yeah.
We have some of those. I've had several lately. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Cece. Cece said, amazing.
So what's up, people? April, looking forward to connecting with you. Love this vibe, though. Def gonna chime in soon to learn and share. Thank you for the support.
Thank you.
Listen, it's one of those things where we love our audience and we engage our audience. Of course, she's the star. I'm just the side guy.
Wow.
I'm the
side guy.
The sidekick, the side guy. She's always glowing. She has to glow. Look, she's trying not to smile right now, but she's gonna smile in a second because she's fighting it. She's fighting it. But she has her app coming out, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be definitely geared towards women, and a lot of good content, a lot of help that you can use to manage everyday life, so forth and so forth. You can sign up for seminars. You can sign up for webinars. You can sign up for group. You can refer somebody and sign them up for actual services for the app.
Yeah.
So her app is going to be there. We're going to try to get those numbers up so we can get that monetized, just like we've gotten these numbers up here on our YouTube channel with all of our authentic subscribers.
Woo! Thank you.
And then I have the app coming out. I have the app being redone, actually. And so that's going to be for men. And it's called Empower Him. Hers is Empower Her or Establish Her. Mine is Empower Him. And so we're going to have that app coming out. And it should be out before the end of the month. So when it's out, we'll let you guys know. And
then we're collaborating with Ash on the Untold app.
Right.
That I'm really excited about. So for those of you who do see us in our practice, you probably have heard about the Untold Voice Journal app.
Right.
How amazing that is and how it's been helping folks. But we're supposed to be collaborating with Ash, who is the creator of the app. And so we're really excited about that.
Yeah, I think that meeting's this week, actually. Yeah. So that's a big thing because that boosts us as not only a Black couple, right? But it boosts us as a business and it boosts us in what we do. And so we may be able to feature them on the show. We're doing some more interviews. And that's another thing. We're doing more interviews.
Yes,
so there's more interviews coming up.
The last interview you did was amazing with The Voice.
Yeah, The Voice was on there. She did her thing. Good interview. Very good interview.
Yeah.
And so we got more interviews planned.
We do.
Again, when you're going to this level of, work and what you work hard for, you got to level up, and it involves stretching and growing, not only in business, but in content and adding more stuff that people want to see. So also, if there's stuff you want to see and content that you want us to cover, definitely comment in the Obsidian Lux Group YouTube page. Go to the page, or you can go to our website, theobsidianluxgroup.com, and leave us a comment and say, hey, I'd like to see this, or could you cover this? Or even if you have a question about something that you would like us to cover in the realm of therapy, life coaching, and psychology and sociology, all those ologies, definitely give us a call or hit us up on those two spaces and let us know so we can bring that content on and do that for you.
Right. Yeah. Also, if you're interested in therapeutic services, please don't hesitate to reach out on the page, theobsidianluxgroup.com. There's an icon for Empower Him or Establish Her, and you can go to either page and request a consultation with either one of us or together, because we do work together with couples.
Right. And we do couples counseling. We do individuals counseling. We do
families.
family counseling.
Mhm.
We do divorce, marriage. We do crisis management.
Everything.
Yeah, there's not a lot of things we really don't touch on as a group and as a couple in this business. So it's very pleasing to know that we can, do this and help people like you every day
Yeah.
and get that out there so we can do what we need to do, which is change lives and make a difference.
Speaking of,
What happened?
what's today? What are we talking about today?
Oh, yeah. So let's get to it. Let's get in it. Let's dive in it. Because I was like, I thought it was something you was finna announce something else. You just
Really? That was my
segue.
segue, sir.
That was your
Come
segue.
on.
Okay.
I'm gonna need for you to get
All
it
right.
together.
TV talk, segue, changing to the next subject
And
effortlessly. All right. So we're talking about taking care of yourself in this series. Dating self. What does that look like? Self-care. In the process, we talked about last week, we talked about taking time for self, learning to say no. And what does that look like? Not being able to fulfill some obligations, being able to back away from projects, learning when to turn the work brain off and just take time for you, which is what we did last time. And before that, we talked about getting ready to, date yourself or get to know yourself, right? Which is what you need to do before you start dating anybody else, which is what we are on.
Well,
today.
dating anybody else, marrying anybody else, having sex with anybody else,
all
of the above. Yeah. What we have found with a lot of people is because they're not having any of these conversations.
They're not.
At all.
It's hard for them to have those kind of conversations because sometimes they don't know where to start. Sometimes they don't want to be judged. So they don't have those kind of conversations. And we want people to have those kind of conversations because these kind of conversations help you in choosing the right person that's for you. If you ever keep choosing the wrong person, there's a reason for that, right?
My pickle broken. There's something wrong with my pickle. Well, kind of.
Yeah.
But what it is there's something wrong and you need to work on what is going on with you. Yeah. A lot of people are like, it's them. I know it's them. It's them.
Always been them.
No. Because at the end of the day, in every situation, the common denominator is you.
It's you. A lot of people don't want to accept that, but we're going to help you learn to accept that because you are the reason. Yeah, accountability is like saying a cuss word to some people. So, but we're going to get it in a vocabulary because y'all can cuss about everything else. Anyway, let's get into it. The Blueprint for Dating, Part 3. Trace. Black folk can't never say the Spanish word correctly.
Trace.
I know Trace and them down the street because they owe me about $7.
You know what? Goodbye. Continue. All right. So I thought we'd go back to talking about some of the best and worst dating advice. One of my favorite worst is, to get over somebody, you got to get under somebody else.
I think that is a slave mentality saying. I don't know who came up with that slave.
Well, to get over, your last intimate partner, whether they were intimate or not, you need to go just be intimate with somebody else, throw yourself in the game. And think about it. A lot of people do that. They'll just rush into sex. They rush into sex for whatever reason. It's easier for folks to give their bodies to people than to talk about themselves. Right.
I think the worst dating advice I got was it's cheaper to keep her. They made a whole song about that.
They lied.
And I'm like, it ain't cheaper to keep her because it costs you in other ways that you can't afford to pay that you don't realize. And then we around here as black folks say, it's cheaper to keep her. It's cheaper to keep her. No, it's not.
That's another slave mentality
song. Like, it's not. So we want to hear from our guest
mentality
in this content. What's the worst dating advice you ever got? Give me some one-liners that you've had. Some of the worst dating advice. What's another worst dating advice while we're waiting on our guest to say?
Some of the, this is one, some people are going to be controversial.
Some of them are.
Like the whole, that man's never going to buy the cow if you give the milk away for free. I'm like, first of all, I'm not a cow. Let's go there.
Right. All right.
I don't move.
Yeah.
I'm not milkable.
Yeah.
Well, I actually.
You actually are.
I'm sorry.
Milkable.
But I'm not a cow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that limits, again, we can talk about female sexuality all day long. You know,
Yeah.
that's my jam. But women getting to know their bodies and who they are and what they are, independent from there it is. Renata said it.
Yeah,
hey, girl. The North Hugheses.
North Hugheses. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
Yeah. Yeah, that one. I don't like it. I don't like it.
That's
and that
mentality.
limits. And it's definitely speaking to women about their bodies belonging to her and needing to be in a committed relationship before you engage in anything sexual, whether it's sexual energy, talk about sex, thoughts about any of that.
Yeah.
And I have a different opinion about that, but other people may not like that. But
I think another one that I've heard, it wasn't told to me, but I've heard for men, since you're talking about the woman aspect, the one I heard from men was you're only as good as what you can provide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is definitely not true. You're not limited. Your goodness and how good you are in a relationship to that woman is not dependent on what you can provide.
Well, that really makes it a financial thing. Like it's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah, monetary. Yeah.
Can you pay my bills? Can you pay my That's what it is. All of that. Like again, and there were so many things. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. That whole thing again. And so in thinking that the only thing that people can add to you is financially.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Now, again, I know that there's going to be some pushback. I see that nobody wants to talk about it. We gonna talk about it.
Yeah,
but, it'll be fine.
Y'all act like y'all ain't heard no worst dating advice, but if you haven't had worst dating advice, y'all all would be married.
Everybody married in the chat, I guess. Everybody in a committed relationship, married, and everything is wonderful.
Everything is cool. All right.
No good?
Y'all keep lying to
Look, we don't have any good advice.
That's all right.
No, I was asking, do we have any good advice?
We have some good advice.
Okay,
we're going to give them some good advice later on down the line. So we're going to go ahead and go to dating. What does that look like?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll ask the question before we even go any further. Do we date?
Like collectively?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we don't know how.
I agree.
Yeah. We don't know what dating is. I had some woman tell me one time, dating, if I'm single at this time, right?
Okay.
And she's like, if you can't focus on me, then I don't want to be in a relationship with you. I'm like, first of all, we're not in a relationship. We're trying to date.
We're getting to know each other.
I literally just got your phone number last week. Like,
I just met you.
Right.
And I need to commit to you. I've had someone tell me the same thing. Like, you're not going to be going out here on dates with other people. It's just me and you. And that's it. I'm like, no, sir.
Yeah,
that's not what
crazy.
It is.
It's crazy. And to think that people don't know how to date and want to control the situation so bad, where they're saying, well, in order to date in a non-monogamous dating scenario, they want to have all these parameters so you're not dating everybody else. Listen, let's be honest. In the dating phase, in a non-monogamous dating situation, until you have verbally made it a agreement. Agreement. Yeah. I don't want to say contract. Agreement.
Yeah. And you two both need to agree.
Yeah.
That this is what you're doing.
Right. But until that happens, if you got to ask, what is we doing? You're not in a monogamous dating relationship. So don't get surprised and or mad when you see him talking and entertaining other women. Don't get surprised and mad when you see her talking and entertaining other men, because obviously that's a part of the dating. And I think people have a real tough time with that.
Oh, yeah.
Accepting that.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Most definitely. So in dating, it's like, I don't need any competition. I don't need anybody to be thinking that they're going to see anybody else unless I'm done with you. And
Right.
if I'm done with you, then okay,
Right.
then you can go.
Right.
I've dismissed you. Good day, sir.
Right. Sarah says, and dating is hard due to how it is defined and expectations and experiences. Like I am getting to know or marrying at the first sight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I? Sorry.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
And that's not fair for that person to like treat you that way. Like,
Right.
oh, you gotta, we together now.
Right.
You my boo. Actually, I'm just dating you.
Right.
I'm just getting to know you. And that's what dating is.
And
it is a phase to get to know people.
And there's phases within the dating aspect.
Yeah.
Like if you get somebody's phone number and you start talking to them, you guys are automatically not dating.
No.
You're getting to know that person. Yeah. If you've gone out on a couple of dates and it's still not monogamous and there's no verbal communication and or agreement that is going to be monogamous, and that's the only person you're going to date, then at that point in time, you're dating. Other than that, you're just getting to know them. That's it. Exchanging ideas and information and seeing what the conversation is like.
That is all. Right. That is it.
Dating advice. A piece of a man is better.
Oh, girl. Oh, you took me out on that one. You right, girl.
Yeah. That's another one that is told to some women.
Betty Wright has a whole song about that too. She has a lot of songs about that.
Betty Wright has single-handedly destroyed the black community. I swear.
Love you, Betty, but still.
Right.
So yeah, that's a piece of man better than no. No, it ain't.
Teaching women to settle.
Yeah, that's basically what.
Except,
whatever
what they can get.
Yeah. Not even what they can get, but not just settling for what is there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I don't think, and this goes for Black women as well as Black men, I don't think we really think about creating what it is that we want to have.
Right.
It's like, this is what my mom and daddy did, and they, as long as I'm better than them,
right.
I'm gonna get better than them, we good.
Right.
We don't yell and scream at each other. We good. We don't yell and scream because we don't talk to each other.
Right.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Renata says, I do not think we are taught to say what we wanted. Yeah. So that's what we're going to dive into. She continues to say, we were made to take what was given to us and make it work.
Yep.
That's what slaves were done with food and everything else. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of ingrained in Black culture, because even in today's time, we just take what we got and make it work. That's what we've always done. And we've risen from the making bare minimum work into something phenomenal.
Right.
But we're telling you in this day and time, and especially as it relates to dating, it doesn't have to be like that
at all.
You no longer have to accept the tropes and stuff and the sayings that your parents and grandparents chose to accept because that's all they knew. With all the information and all the new changes that's out there, you can define what dating looks like for you. And that's what it is. Dating looks like what you want it to look like individually. But on the common ground, dating is getting to know somebody, going on some dates, physical dates or virtual dates, right?
Yes, because those are nice as well.
Virtual dates are nice, right?
Yeah.
And going on those dates and interacting and getting to know each other to see if the chemistry is worth something that you can say at one point in time or eventually, hey, I'd like to monogamously date you. And that's where you go into the actual I'm dating somebody monogamous phase.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're not even there yet. We're not even there. So what I wanted you to say really quickly was what you said about legacy versus your story.
Yeah, legacy is, a lot of people think legacy is what their parents taught them, right? And legacy is not what your parents taught you. It's not your experience. It just happens to be your story up until the point where you can define your story yourself. So legacy is legacy. It's always going to be that, but it's not your story. You can define your story. Your parents had their marriage. That was their story. When you get married, you can have your story and define your story how you want it, because your kids will look at your marriage as legacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll look at grandma and grandpa's marriage, but they're really going to go to your marriage first as the actual idea, right? Mm-hmm. Even in dating, they're going to look at dating. Like if your sister or brother has had trouble dating and they try to project the stuff a lot, right? Mm-hmm. We get people that project that a lot. It doesn't have to be your story, right? That's their story.
Right.
So don't be afraid to think that you're going to end up the same way because of association or proximity. That's not how it works. Your legacy is your legacy. But you get to change that into your story when you start to define something for yourself, knowing that you don't have to define it. It doesn't have to define you through legacy.
Right. It's helpful to know the legacy so we can call out those behaviors as we're walking on your journey, but you don't have to walk in that legacy at all.
Right, right. The fatal guise of you better be happy with what you got as if grateful is accepting poop.
Happily. Yeah. Go on and say shit, girl. It's okay.
Just say shit because
poop
or poo.
Right here. Look, my
little pull out sticker. But yeah, no, you're right.
Can't see it.
Yeah, that they want you to accept, that's why all these slogans came about. And you notice these slogans weren't adapted in, white music,
or white culture.
Now, Dolly Parton in country, she'd saying some things about some, but they would go to the line, but not cheat. They would go to the line and not go overboard if they were the other woman or something like that.
Right.
But only in Black culture, we was like, accept what you can accept. A half of a man is better than no man type stuff. She continues on by saying, if I can't take care of myself, why would someone else be able to half-tail it? Mm-hmm. It's no longer a requirement to have a partner for women, and politically, that scares me.
No, not her.
Oh,
some.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah. I think we can say the same across the board.
For men and women?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can say the same. In this day and time, men have recently been at it. It's always been like that for women, though.
Right. Are we just talking Black men and Black women, or are we talking about men and women?
I think we're talking about specifically Black men and Black women.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because today in class, we kind of talked about the divisiveness. Now, I'm in class with 5 other women who are white women, and we talked about the divisiveness. The bear got brought up. The bear in the forest and Black men.
I was not there for that.
No, it was good. So, I mean, we understand that there's a lot of divisiveness, but that we have to understand that that's the plan.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That is the plan. Yeah. But that doesn't have to be your plan. So let's keep going because we'll get stuck and go down the rabbit hole.
Are you ready to date? Are you healed from your past traumas?
So this is where we started. Like, this is important.
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you know, recognize, address your triggers? Do you practice self-soothing? For those of you who know me, the hugging exercise, talking to yourself,
right,
de-escalating yourself, and then going to talk to the person that you need to talk to. It is not their responsibility to calm you down.
Right.
It's not.
It's not.
It is your responsibility. But that's another conversation for another day. Do you know how to utilize conflict resolution?
Mm-hmm. Now, these last two are very important. And a lot of you guys really skip over, avoid, or act like it doesn't exist on this last two. But
not today.
Do you know you? And would you date you?
Knowing what you know now.
Knowing what you know now about you, would you date you? And a lot of you know that you would not date you. Let's just be honest. You would not date you.
Strong hell no for some.
As a matter of fact, a lot of you sit out there and wonder how you get away with half the stuff you get away with in dating, because you would not let you get away with what you get away with in dating.
Why am I doing that?
Right.
Well, why they let me do that?
Right. I can't believe they let me get away with this. Right. So again, when you're in this space, you have to know yourself. And if you wouldn't date you, knowing what you know about you, your triggers, your traumas, if you're healed or if you're not, stop expecting other people to date you. Stop expecting other people to do what you wouldn't do for yourself.
This really, this is where self accountability comes in, and not having an echo chamber around you.
Right.
Like, you got to be able to like stand in your stuff and really say, do I do that? Is
Right.
it me?
Right.
Oh, well, yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
And really do something about it. Because I mean, I tell people all the time, you can lie to other people, just don't lie to you. Don't lie to you, because when you lie to you, yeah, you just out there bad.
I mean,
you're out there bad.
It's very good to hype yourself up, but it's not good to roll down that hill of lying to yourself to where
Right.
you avoid the accountability of what
Right.
really is.
Right.
And so that's the point of saying, do you know you? Would you date you?
Right.
You know, do you know how to utilize conflict resolution? Right.
Right. This is the dating phase of you
Of
first.
You. Right.
This is where you date you first.
Right.
You're looking at you first. You're getting to know you first. Those of you who know me, the plushing curriculum that we do, and being present with you and prioritizing you and loving you, liking you. Some people don't like themselves. I'm like, do you love you? Yeah, I like my hair. I like, no, that's not what I asked you.
Yeah.
I said, do you love all parts of you?
Some people out here, loving themselves on the surface while expecting others to love them deeply when they don't love themselves deeply.
I think that's most, because anytime we ask about self-care, it's like, I'll get my hair done. I get my nails done.
I get my hair cut. You know what I'm saying? I go to the gym. Okay, cool. You do all that stuff that normal people do.
Welcome to adulting.
Right. What do you do on the inside for you to deal with the trauma and emotions that you have that keeps you getting the same results you get when it comes to dating? Because lifting weights is not going to change your dating status.
No.
Getting your hair cut, I mean, just on physical, but it doesn't help with everything else about your dating status.
And that's that, being present with yourself and not pushing down your emotions, your feelings, all of those things, and taking a breath and just dealing with those things, because you won't get any further if you don't.
Got to deal with them.
So that's you dating you.
All right.
And after you date you, are you being you? Are you living in you?
Yeah.
That true, authentic self.
Yeah.
And when you do, go out and make friends in that true and authentic self. Here's the thing: make female friends and male friends. Just friends. Get to know people.
Both of them.
Just people. Hey, how you doing?
Both of them. Yeah. Don't limit yourself, because limiting yourself means you're limiting your experience and the possibilities of something magical that can happen when building a friendship. And then there's no pressure on you. You're not out here, actively searching for a man or a wife or a husband or, wife or boyfriend or girlfriend. What you're doing is you're getting friends, and you never know what could come of that. You never know who they know and who they could hook you up with or put you in contact with or put you in the same room with.
Right.
So loving you and being ready to talk to other people and make friends takes the pressure off of you when it comes to dating. And that's the beautiful part. When you're not trying to look for somebody that you really want, you actually find what you really want, because you're too busy giving your energy to finding friends, enjoying life, just enjoying you.
Right.
Now that you like and to discover who you are, now you're in the enjoying phase, which is, this is what it is. Are you being you? So once you're in this enjoying phase, now you're like, I'm having fun with me. I'm loving me. I got friends. I got this. I got that. I'm a part of these groups. I'm doing acting or whatever it is you like to do, or canoeing and stuff like that. Kayaking. That's right. I said canoeing. Right.
That's okay.
But you're doing all this wonderful stuff, and then all of a sudden you have this good energy output, and somebody who is on that same path as you recognizes good energy, and then you meet up with them and something magical happens.
So when you're in this phase, this is when you decide what it is you like, what it is you don't like, what you need, what you don't need, getting to know you. That's how that going on dates.
Right.
So that helps us to move forward to the next phase.
A lot of people need dating under their belt because they really don't know how to go on dates even when they're ready to date.
Oh my gosh.
So, there's dating do's and don'ts, what to
yeah.
expect. And you don't know that until you get to know yourself. And then when you get to know yourself and you start being yourself, you'll have the idea of what you want on a date.
Look, I probably shouldn't pass gas at the table.
Right.
Those kinds of things come up. I'm like, why are we thinking about that?
Shouldn't go to a Mexican restaurant and then start leaning over the table and start saying heavy H words at the end.
Crazy.
Oh, you like the dates? Like, oh my God. Let me take you home now.
All right.
So definitely get to know you, right?
Yep.
Love yourself. Then get to enjoy yourself by being you.
Yeah.
All right.
And definitely create that, again, what you like, what you don't like, because, I forgot. Sorry. Getting to know people. We talked about this earlier. What dating actually is. Because some people don't know what dating is. So we put the actual definition. Dating refers to the process by which people explore their compatibility and potential for romantic relationships. So you start dating. It typically involves social activities, communication, spending time together to determine if there is a mutual interest and connection. So here's the thing. I don't understand why people just like, yeah, I guess I'll go out with you. Well, do you like them? No, not really. Do you feel anything? Any connection? Any interest?
I just need a free meal. I'm broke.
Do not go out with them. I was like, do not do that.
I just need a free meal. I'm broke.
I'm bored.
I'm bored.
I'm just bored. I need somebody to entertain me.
I feel like, what are you, a cat? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You need somebody to entertain you, or you need a meal. Like,
no.
Come on, man. Let's be realistic. You got to when it comes to dating, you got to be intentional. Just like you got to be intentional about finding and loving yourself and being yourself and enjoying yourself. You got to be intentional about dating, and you got to know what that looks like for you and what you like and don't like.
Yeah.
It says, is there potential? Consider things like this: values, interests, goals, personality, connection, and life experiences. You won't know that on a couple of dates. You have to date and do this for a while and probe, and because you're meeting a lot of people's ambassadors. They're not going to give you their real selves. They're going to give you somebody that they want you to like.
Right.
And
I challenge you to not present your ambassador, but present your real self, that true, authentic person.
Right.
A lot of people are like, well, they're not going to get the benefit of me until 3 months in. Why? You are you every day, all day.
So you're going to lie to them for 3 months.
Basically.
And expect
don't do that.
No.
Just be you.
Be you. Be the authentic version of yourself. If they don't like it, they're not for you. If they don't rock with that and vibe with that, they're not for you.
They're not.
But somebody does.
Yep. So at this point, there's some things you need to ask yourself. So, I can't see the top for some reason.
You can't see the top?
If the answer is no to, do you know yourself? So if the answer is no to any of those things that we just talked about, go back to dating you. Just go back.
Go back.
Just go back. Do not pass go.
And
do not collect $200.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like we are in Monopoly. Yes.
Yeah.
If the answer is no, go back.
And if the answer is yes, then you'll proceed to the next question. But a lot of you know the answer is no and then proceed anyway.
Exactly. Like, no, but guess what? They gonna get all of this. They gonna get it today. No.
You guys don't know squat about yourself. You know there's some things you don't even like about yourself, but you'll be like, oh well, I'm not gonna admit that to them, and they keep going, and then they eventually find out, and then now you're stuck back at square one. It's a process. You have to go through the process. So what we're saying in the slide is, if anything we said up to this point and there is a strong no in any of those, or maybe, I don't know, if it ain't a definite yes, go back and repeat the process.
Right.
Go back to step 1, 2, or 3, whichever slide you feel.
All 3 of them.
That works for all 3 of them. Yeah, complete the process.
Yeah.
But if you answer yes to any of those and you're like, yeah, I got that. I feel I love me, blah, blah, blah. Then you go to the next thing, which is what we're going to talk about. But we want to get right here, because right here is where a lot of people just go back to lying to themselves.
This is like the hole in the sidewalk point.
Right.
This is line 3.
Right.
And you fall in, there's a hole. You fall in, get out, fall in, get out, fall in, get out. It's a habit. And then you say things like, I don't know what's wrong.
Right.
It's them. Why can't I be in a successful relationship? Because you have not dealt with you. You the person.
But you want other people to deal with you.
No.
Hell no.
Stop it. All right. So I wanted to keep this slide in because of this thought of who we want to date and who the reality is.
We about to destroy the reality.
I'm sorry,
one
y'all.
more again.
Sorry.
Because a lot of y'all in the community, in our community, have this fictitious, on both sides, men and women, have this fictitious reality or fantasy that the person that you magically made up in your head that you know you don't qualify for either wants you or actually exists.
Well, I'm going to say it different because I don't like that qualification thing. But when you really understand, so I never understood this when I was doing it, but I understand it now. The bell curve, you know bell curve. Mm-hmm. So it's little, then it gets big, and then it's little. So what average I'm talking about is this middle part where most of the people are. Right?
Yeah.
What most people are trying to date are the tails.
Yeah.
The small percentages. That ain't listen. That's usually if we're talking about the upper echelon. And listen, you date, who do you date?
Right.
We have been socialized to believe as women that my prince will come take me away on the white horse and get that.
I just got to keep working at Taco Bell and he'll show up.
Stop it. That reminds me of the tea. You can have whatever you like and the pickles.
Right. Yeah. Like, no.
I'm sorry. That always makes me laugh. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we're talking about the people, men and women, who are in the middle of the bell curve. Okay.
Yes, where this like what was it on? Hitch, he was teaching that dude how to dance.
Oh, good.
He was like, no, we're gonna keep it simple. We right here. Elbows in to the side. That's your groove. That's what it's said for most of y'all when it comes to this dating. Elbows in to the side, just 2-step with it.
Right.
Because all this extra stuff, you're not built for that. It's not you. It's not happening. Most people are in this bell curve that she's talking about, and they're not on the tip ends of where you're trying to shoot for.
And listen, I'm not saying you ain't cute, you ain't whatever. I'm not saying any of that.
Right.
I'm trying to bring some reality and think about how we've been socialized to believe about dating, especially women, when we over romanticize this.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Yeah, because that Negro does not exist. Let's just get that out the way.
Super Negro.
He ain't got no cape. He ain't coming to save you, and he don't want you just like you think you want him.
You should be saving yourself.
Right.
That's why we were talking about do not pass go, do not collect $200.
But see, that's what I said. A lot of people in this scenario, I'm going to lean more towards women because they have this idea that all they need to do, or I'm going to say it because I know this is going to trigger, all they need to bring to the table is their looks.
Or vagina.
And some of y'all are batting 1 out of 1.
Shut up. Or vagina. And I had to throw vagina in because a lot of people are like, I can just change them. Let me just go and have sex with them. Let me just go and... Don't do that. Don't do that. Some people are not going to like me after today. I'm just saying.
I don't care if we got to give you the truth. And men,
and it's
everybody ain't going to look like they straight off of a rap video.
No.
Everybody ain't, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, a lot of women are broken just like men. So stop thinking that you just going to get some healed woman all the time.
Right.
Right?
Okay. So average, and I'm not saying that average, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
That's not, I
Nothing
don't, I
wrong with
want you to
average.
take that connotation out. But between the age,
No good.
between the age of 25 to 45, the height is between around 5'9", 5'10",
Mhm.
weight 190 to 202, income, let me say
Income.
income. 45,000 to 75,000. Okay. Education, high school graduate, about 88%, bachelor's degree or higher, 23%. Employment, they typically have jobs, but they are underemployed, right? So the higher paying jobs they're usually experiencing some discrimination in those areas. Okay. So they are paid less,
Right.
even though they're typically paid more than us.
Right.
Because when you look at the average Black woman, again, between the age of 25 and 45, their height is 5'4", average. Now, there are some women who are not average. I am 5'6", but that's the average. So, okay, I'm a little bit taller.
Right.
Average weight between 195 and 210. Let me say that again. 195 and 210.
I'm waiting till you get to the next part. Because they swear up and down they get in the bag.
Income.
Mm-hmm.
Income.
38,000
to 65,000. That's the average. We done lost a whole lot of people on that, baby.
It's all right.
I'm good. 90% high school graduates, bachelor's degree or higher, 25%.
Right.
Okay. And Black women often face wage gap compared to white men and women, earning approximately 61 cents for every dollar earned by white non-Hispanic men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
That's a lot of information. You know, I'd like to give you information that you can chew on for a minute.
What I want to say is there's nothing wrong with what's on this screen.
Nothing at all, because you know what I see? This is just me. It's just me. Okay. So I see if this man makes 60,000 and this woman makes 40,000, 50,000, they got between 100,000 and 110,000. They good. They can make it work and build.
Listen, if let's just say on the high end, the man makes 75, the woman makes 65, right? Let's just say on the high end.
Almost 150,000.
If you are together, a lot of people, this is how I know people don't think. Do you know when you get together officially as a married couple and you make that kind of money, you are no longer in the middle class. You're bordering upper class. You're technically you're in the upper middle class, bordering high class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, if you can't make it work with 65 and 75K annually combined, something wrong.
He need to be making 150,000 a year. And I hear this a lot, and I'm like, tell me what that means to you. And for a lot of women, the number means that person is about their business and can take care of themselves. But they taking care of themselves. I'm like, they taking care of them. They ain't taking care of you yet.
Right.
For them to be able to date me, they're going to have to spend a lot of money.
Why?
Okay.
Why?
And that's my question.
Why are you
what
monetizing?
Does that mean to you?
Why are you monetizing your vagina as if?
Get to the stretchy man. I didn't say that. I mean,
why are you monetizing
Jesus?
Why are you monetizing your worth as if? First of all, why are you not making that money? And if you're making that money, why are you requiring that man to make that same amount of money or better to still take care of you? And you're already making that money.
The thing that I feel, and this is personal, the thing that I feel like understanding those numbers, right? And what's on the screen and turning towards each other to support each other in this game called life.
Yeah.
Right. And understanding that Black men face discrimination, right, and Black women are dealing with the wage gap. Yeah. So together, how are we going to work this thing in the thing called life?
Right.
But we don't see that. What we say, oh, you need to make one. Oh, you ain't it. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Keep going. So now, with all this information, a blueprint for designing the life that you desire. We just talked about, what these quote unquote average people are. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You can design a life that you desire.
Right.
What could that look like? So this is now, you're kind of thinking about, okay, well, maybe I'm ready to settle down. I'm in that mindset. So I want you to think about with a list of things that after dating, you realize that you want, need, and desire in a relationship.
Yeah.
This is non-negotiables. Now, when I typically do this relationship, I have to coach people because they like, I need somebody to make 6 figures. And I typically say, what does that mean? Because you can meet a person that makes 6 figures and they can be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
A complete, and I've met many.
Yeah, me too.
250,000. Yeah. I'll take you to dinner.
That bank. I could have had you at the condo in New York. Ooh. Yeah, but your attitude is shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, sweetie.
That's it. So is that really what you want? So consider character traits. Dig beyond the surface with just money and material. They need to be driving a BMW or this, that, and the third. And I'm like, what does that mean for you?
What does that do for you?
Well, I mean, not even do, but what does it say about you? Because what they drive, how does what they drive have anything to do
with their character?
You? Yeah. Or with you? Yeah. Because there's some validation that is needed with you making this request. So let's go to the next one because it's
the hard stops, hard negotiate.
So here's an example. Friendship. That's an important one for me. Right. And we talked a lot about this one.
Yeah.
Support of each other's goals and dreams. That is huge.
Helpmate. Sharing it. This is another one. Sharing in each other's interest. You don't like the same things that this person likes, but you're still in a relationship with them because you're expecting them to take care of you.
Yep.
Good communication. Expressing yourself clearly. Sense of humor. Monogamous. All right. If that's what you set up your relationship for.
I thought I put /open, like, and question mark, because that's a whole conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we assume a lot.
Yeah. I say monogamous or open or poly, whichever one you guys, what works best for you.
For you. You have to have that conversation. And again, we're probably going to lose some people.
Listen, we can't act like this is not out there. This is out there, people. Let's just be grown and understand that monogamy is not the only style of relationship that exists in the Black community in today's time.
In community period.
Or in community period, yes. I'm focused on the Black community, but in community period, right? And if they're not monogamous and they have a different style of relationship, that does not make them any less of people because they don't have the same style relationship that you think everybody should have.
Right.
Right.
That's just what they want to do.
All right. Take initiative in planning, growing spiritually, love, financial responsibility. Here's a big one for men is respect. For most men, I'm going to say it. They don't want your love. They want your respect first. Then they want your love.
Yep.
Because if you don't respect them, to them, you don't love them. I'm just saying for men.
Well, one of the things, so this is an example. This is actually somebody's list that I, copy pasted. Yeah. And I'm not going to out anybody. No. One of the things that I found interesting was grow spiritually. It said nothing about church. It said nothing about religion. It said grow spiritually. And I think one of the things that people will say off the bat is God-fearing. I'm like, what does that mean? What does God-fearing mean?
What does that
because
look like?
you could kill somebody and still fear God.
Right. Right.
Right?
You can do God's work and still fear God and
God.
be dead wrong because
Yeah.
that's not what he said or expected for you to do.
Right. So with this list, we want you to be a little bit more intentional in thinking about what it is that you want, need, and desire.
Yeah. Trust.
Oh, this one is important. Having own respectful and healthy friendships.
Yeah.
Who, Jesus?
I think this next one is good. Being secure, confident, and happy with themselves. Affectionate, and then safety.
Yeah.
Okay? And safety doesn't always mean he got to protect me when I want to be out here acting like I want to act.
No.
Right.
There needs to be some agreements about safety and what safety looks like for both partners.
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of people think safety is one way. As a man, you're supposed to protect me as a woman. However, there's some safety that I offer you. And people are like, well, what you gonna do? You gonna fight for it? Has nothing to do with that.
Why it has to be physical all the time?
Nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
So then this non-negotiable list is going to turn into a relationship report card where you are grading how you are showing up and also how that person is showing up in a relationship. So nobody gets, it's on a scale of 0 to 100, like you back in school.
Like a regular report card.
Yeah, you're not in school. I mean, you're nobody gets 100 because nobody's perfect. The highest you can get is 95. 0 to 100. 0, this person don't do it at all. 0, zilch, nada. And we do not, I repeat, do not give extra credit. Just because they came to class, that does not give them extra credit.
So just because you show up, ladies, don't mean you get a grade or you got to participate. No, you got to put in the work.
Well, then, some people, they participate. They at least took me to a dinner one time. So I got, that is no. You are grading them. You are being honest with yourself, how you show up and how they show up.
Right.
And it becomes real interesting, doesn't it, babe?
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people realize how they grade themselves because you're not only grading them. Let's just get this out of the way. You're grading yourself, then you're grading them, and then you're looking at each other's answers because you may think you're showing up in these categories that we have listed, right? Mm-hmm. But your partner may not think you're showing up in that same way.
Right.
And that's why you have to have this kind of style report card because it gives you a way to actually see through your partner's eyes where your strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah. So this can help you like really see. What did you say, Sierra, child? Only failing report card ever. This is the only one you failed? It's okay. You will get a positive one. You will. But it's good to know, right? If you don't know this information up front, like if you can't see, it's a good way for people to see things in black and white because it's just kind of all out here. Once you have it and you can look at it, you're like, oh, hell.
But I don't look at it as failing. I look at it as like, this is just not where you're strong at.
Woo, that is.
This is not your ministry. This is not your area of expertise.
Or this is not your person.
Or this is not your person if a lot of grades are low. Yeah.
So let's go to the next one and look at this example because I think it's going to blow some people away. So here we go. So
wait, hold on. This is an actual person and couple that we talked to. Right? And these are the grades that they gave themselves as well as gave each other.
Right. So the way that we did it, so we had them grade themselves and then the other person. So person 1 and then person 2. And then the next slide we'll get to is where person 2 got to come back and do the real grades, like what they really felt.
Yeah. So what we're looking at is person 1 grading person 2 right now and themselves.
Right.
Right.
And so the highlighted things are the things that they felt were really important to have in a relationship, person 1. And so the interesting thing, I'm wondering if you see it, is the highlighted things are the lowest grades.
Right.
Or some of the lowest grades.
Right.
And those were the things that were most important to that person. And so for some of these, they were like, break it down. I need for you to break it down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, loves me. So the grade was, did that person love themselves? And they gave, and Jamon was so, he was like, you gave yourself that grade. Is that you gave yourself extra credit? Because do you really?
Yeah.
They gave themselves a 60 in loving themselves, because that's what they, and then the person that they were in the relationship with, the grade that they gave that person
for loving them was a 40.
Was a 40.
So you love, and that's why I was like, so you love yourself more than that person loves you? Really? Really? Okay. We don't let you stick with that laugh for right now, but keep going. Continue.
I mean, they might, but even if, like, the scores are horrible.
Nah, they didn't love themselves. Nah.
They're horrible.
Because if you loved yourself like you say you wouldn't be accepting the things from that person that you were complaining
and that's
about.
what I'm saying. You wouldn't be accepting that 40.
Right.
This wouldn't even be an exercise we'd be talking about.
Right. You wouldn't be accepting that 40.
Right.
So go ahead.
The relationship with God. And then broke it down. Right.
Right.
Their grade, 65. The person's grade, 0. But that's an expectation in a relationship. That's what they want, need, and desire. Right? So first of all, you're asking for something that you're not even doing.
So, and that's what I said. If you're giving them a 0, person 1 is giving person 2 a 0. Mm-hmm. But then you go back and say you give yourself a 60 because you love yourself. Why you were accepting this 0 in this category? So you don't love yourself.
Well,
so that's what I'm saying. You will tell on yourself eventually, but we don't say nothing. We let it happen. We let it happen.
And they did figure it out.
Yeah, they figured it out.
They figured it out. So then hot, which is humble, open, transparent, and trustworthy. That's a lot.
Right.
I don't know about this grade. They gave themselves a 95 and gave this person a 25.
They were lying to themselves.
Again. So the thing was, so person 2 has a 43%.
Right.
And person 1 has a 77%, which averaged out to the relationship grade of 60.2, which is 60. We ain't rounding up.
Yeah.
All things, they failing.
Now, okay. What's this next slide say?
Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, so this is so the red is the regrade. That's what the R stands for. So regrade person 2, then person 2, person 1, right. And then regrade of person 1.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So we're giving the original grades, right, and stuff like that. So 45 and 50. That's the regrade.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loves me. Okay.
Yeah.
Supports interest. This was the other partners list. That's why it looks different. Remember?
Yeah, it's other partners list. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they did this list, and then we did a regrade with them.
Yeah. So person 2 is now grading person 1.
Right.
And themselves.
Right.
So just on number 1, on the hot, they gave themselves a 50 while they gave the person an 80, right? But when they went back and we regraded it, it really was a 35 and that other person was a 50.
Right. This is without extra credit.
No extra credit. This is the real bare bones truth about it, right?
Right.
So we go to clear communication, words, and actions. The person originally, person 2 graded person 1 and themselves. And they gave person 2 gave themselves a 30, but they gave person 1 a 95. But when we really said, oh, really? Well, remember when we were talking about this, and that, and X, Y, and Z, and you said these things? So I was like, yeah, let's go back and rethink that grade. And so they gave themselves a 25, and then they gave person 1 a 50, right? Yeah. So if you look down this list, those grades that person 2 in the black gave person 1 is what they were feeling. Then we had to bring them back to the reality of saying, remember when you said this? Remember how in our last session you just said that? Remember how you said these things did not change in these sessions that we've had because you feel like this and he feels like that. And then we went back and regraded it. Now, on number 9, because we talked about this just a few minutes ago. On number 9.
That's in do not pass go, do not collect $200.
This is why you have to know about loving yourself. Number 9 says conflict resolution and solving problems. Basically, when you guys have arguments or disagreements, can you use conflict resolution?
Even when you're mad, because people think, well, I was mad. That's why I couldn't do it. Yeah, no, that's the point.
Even when you're mad.
That's the point.
Right, even when you're mad. At first, person 2 gave person 1 an 85 and gave themselves a 70. We said, we know y'all lying. And in our practice, we don't say you lying. But what we say is, we know that's simply not the case based on X, Y, and Z. As a matter of fact, y'all are arguing right now about the grades that y'all giving each other.
Can we dig a little bit deeper?
Yeah, can we go a little bit deeper?
More about what it is.
And we had to bring them to the realization that they have no conflict resolution, which means they do not love themselves. They do not know themselves. And they shouldn't, in so many words, as far as this goes, they shouldn't be dating as of yet because they weren't ready.
Yeah.
Because their real grade was a 32 and a 45, which gave them a 40% versus that 60% that they swear but down they thought they had.
Right.
So it makes you take a look at yourself as well as your partner in a real lens and see where your strengths and weaknesses are within the relationship.
Now, can you understand, like, if you're asking for surface things like they need to make a 6-figure salary, that either is or isn't.
Yeah.
Like that if they should be aspiring to work on their career, be driven. That's different. You can give a grade to that.
Right.
Because if that person is just sitting on the couch playing video games all day, every day, I don't think that's aspiring unless they're playing games for a living.
Right.
So that's different.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can grade that.
Right. I withdrew from that class when I realized I couldn't meet the prerequisites. You are a godsend because that says some good stuff about you.
Yeah.
That you understood the assignment. You was like, this ain't my ministry. I need to withdraw.
Yeah. And what people have to understand is when you are in this relationship or you're about to date this person, you should look at it and say, "Oh, is this worth it?
Right?
Am I going to be able to bounce back from this 40?
Right. Am
I, or do we need to reset?
Should we continue in this knowing that we got a 40?
Right. Do we need to reset? Do we need to go work on some things? What do we need to do?
Yeah.
Because if you look at both sides, both people need to work on some things.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, Kat, the voice she tuned in. She says, this is so similar to being a teacher evaluating the progress and learning of a student. Fudge grades, the grades you give when you consider their behavior, attitude, efforts. But are they learning?
No.
That's the same. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. By the way, she's a teacher. That's why she did that. It's the exact same thing. You got to learn to give yourself grades and give your partner grades when operating in a relationship.
Not extra credit.
Right.
There's no extra credit. There is no 100% because no one is perfect.
Right. And not just for showing up, putting your name on the paper.
Participation. Everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah,
no, they don't.
We ain't doing that this time.
No.
We're not doing that this time.
So what are your thoughts? Like we've gone through this and we really wanted you to think about like what this looks like in dating, because again, we don't do this well.
Mm-mm.
We don't hold each other accountable.
Mm-mm.
We don't want to call particular things out and ask for what we need, want, and desire.
Right.
We've been socialized to believe we just accept whatever is given to us.
Right.
And no, that ain't it. That ain't. I don't know why I did that.
That's
but
all right.
It's real easy.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna say we're still gonna ask you again. What's your takeaway from this? Do you guys know what your grade is when it comes to dating? Or do you guys know what your grade is? Because you can use this for yourself.
You can.
Before you use it for person two. So do you guys know what your grade is when, just when it comes to yourself?
And we encourage people to actually have conversations about this with their partner.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Like sit down and talk about what you want, need, and desire. And well, that's not in there. Why you need that? If anybody's asking you why you need something, that should be a clue right there.
And beyond the just explaining, the intention of why you need it. But if they seem like they're taking offense to it, then, and it's a thing. Stop worrying about how they're going to feel. What you need is what you need. What you want is what you want. What you desire is what you desire. Right? And if they don't and cannot do that, then it's okay to say that they may not be for you.
Right.
Right? But some of us don't want to lose what we have. We don't want to go into an argument. We don't want to give this person the truth.
Right.
Right. That's men and women. We don't want to give the opposite side the truth because at the end of the day, we're worried about their feelings, being judged, all kinds of fears that come with that. Right.
Yeah.
You never know what that person will accept or not accept if you just talk to them about it and see what they think. Right. But it's harder to do when you're in the relationship because that's the kind of conversation you should have done at the beginning of the relationship.
Right.
Right.
The control factor. Like I need to control this relationship now. Yeah. I need to control whether it ends or not ends, whether how they see me or don't see me. If I'm good enough, that's why it's important for you to go through the healing work.
Right.
Because once you are healed, you know you are good enough. You are loved. You are more than enough. Yeah. All of those wonderful things.
And again, being average is not a bad word. Accountability is not a bad word.
Right.
Being your authentic self is not a bad thing.
We got a lot of A words.
Yeah. Being an asshole is not. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But all these things that we talked about is what's normal, right? And you got to get out of the reality of thinking that just because somebody told you or lied to you and said you look above normal or you are above normal in some shape, form, or fashion does not mean that applies to every part of your life. You could be a beautiful looking woman and still date an average looking dude or average looking dude on paper, right? He may be beautiful and handsome just like you are, but he's average on paper. That's just what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. Right?
I think a lot of people get caught up in what people have socialized them to believe what their partner needs to look like. I had someone that was like, oh, my mom was like, if they don't make a lot of money, then I shouldn't date them. I'm like, so you willing to be by yourself for a while? Because you might run into
your mama gonna keep you by yourself.
I don't know. You might not run into those type of people. Like, what's a lot of money to her? Right. She was like 500,000 plus. I was like, girl, okay.
Has your mom ever dated anybody like that? Okay, then. So it's like, that's the thing. Like the socialization of
it's unreal.
That they pass down, that we as kids and now adults just are now coming into realization is like, you couldn't get that. So why are you expecting me to get that?
To live vicariously through your child.
Right. I think grading yourself as a person, a sibling, a partner, because all of the relationships matter and should be substance to serve a purpose. However, familiarity begets complacency. That's not okay.
You always come with the deep.
Yeah. Yeah. And complacency is where people live and die because they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to they don't believe what they deserve or what they want is even that important versus destroying the whatever house of cards that they've built as a relationship.
I just don't think people believe that they can truly have what it is they want, need, and desire. We've just been so socialized. You just gonna take that.
Yeah.
That's all you good for.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Franz. And What happens when you grade based off patience? We all are graded on a different scale, so no time frame is imminent for dating. Some give up too quickly, in my opinion. Yeah, some people give up too quickly, but some people don't give up quick enough.
Thank you. And when I hear that, what I hear is like, well, I'm waiting for them to change.
Yeah.
Well, they still need to grow.
Yeah.
Well,
Nah.
it might not be your season to be with that person.
Yeah.
If you are ready,
yeah,
you are ready.
You're ready.
And so if you're holding on to this, you can see my poop emoji.
Holding on to this shit.
You holding on to the shit, you can't open your hand to receive what is intended for you to receive.
They're literally telling you who they are and what they will and won't do. And your hope of them growing and stretching may not be with you. And you have to get in your head that in order for you to get what you want, you may not have to be there, which may force their hand to either sink or swim. And if they sink, then that lets you know you just saved yourself a lot of time, which is something you can't get back.
Ooh, Jesus.
If they swim, then you know, okay, whatever it was, the dynamic that y'all had, it wasn't working enough for them to grow like you wanted them to. Because if it's really meant for you, it'll come back to you. And if it's not meant for you, you just weren't the person to sow that growth and that experience into what you wanted. It's a crappy feeling because now you're looking at all the time you've invested. But what is time that you invest if you get no return on that time? If there's no, like, that's like watering a plant for seasons and you don't see no growth and you're still working on the first harvest. Fruit. But you look at everybody else's harvest and everybody else's harvest is growing.
No fruit whatsoever.
And so again, I get you. Some people give up too quickly, but some people don't give up quick enough. Some people don't exit quick enough.
When you say we're graded on different scales, we're not graded on different scales. We're graded on the same scale.
Yeah.
Like it is what you're asking of this person. Your ask can change.
Right.
That can change. I get that. Like you might not feel like this person, like you're getting to know them and maybe you're in the first 3 months and they love you. You might not feel that. Like you might not require that kind of love.
Yeah.
But as you are in a relationship and you've decided, okay, these are the foundational things. No. That's different. And these are things that you should be thinking about again in dating.
Yeah.
So why are you wasting your time? Because people show you who they are. People just don't want to pay attention.
Yeah, they don't want to see the obvious that's right there because they're like, this can't be it. There's got to be something different. And sometimes the answer is really surface level. I had to tell one of our clients that. Sometimes the answer that you want, it ain't that deep. It's literally really surface level and it's basic. It's a basic ass answer. There's a period at the end. Like y'all want to say period. Yeah, period at the end. No other sentence behind that. That's literally what it is.
That's it.
And because you are so invested in your own imagination as to what you think it should be, you have a hard time accepting the answer of what it is.
Falling in love with people's potential.
Yeah.
What Sierra just said, I'm sorry. That's what I was like.
Hold on. Let me go here. But growth has to be evident and change is necessary, but must be intentional. Yeah, it has to be intentional. I had to learn that just because a person is willing doesn't mean they are ready. And just because a person is ready doesn't mean they are willing with you.
Well,
again, they can have all the potential in the world. It may not be with you. And if it's not with you, that doesn't mean that's a bad thing. If you want growth for that person, you should want growth regardless if they're with you or not.
Yes.
Because that person has to go out into the world. And if they don't grow, they possibly damage somebody else. Right? So you would want growth whether they're with you or not, but they have to be intentional about it. And they have to show up when you're asking them to show up in the way that you need them to show up.
And I think you have to have the courage to open your hand and let them go.
Right. Watering concrete won't break a seed through no matter what. That's true. That's true. That is true. The rose that grow from concrete is only because of years of that concrete and that rose and that weed fighting against that concrete until it made a crack in it. But even then, you had to have a lot of shifting of that concrete just for a crack to appear in the concrete.
And it wasn't just because of the rose.
Yeah,
it was really because of the concrete,
right,
and the environment the concrete was in.
Right. You gotta have, listen, y'all act like y'all got all the time in the world.
We do not.
Y'all have one life. One. Right? And you have to wrap your mind around the fact that this person may not be for you. This person may not be for you. If
but
you
I love them.
Right. I need them. I want them to stay. I don't want to give up on them. Listen, you giving up on yourself by not giving up on them in the time that you need to give up on them. Because what you're doing by staying is you've went from a enforcer to say, hey, this is the change I need. And because you didn't set hard boundaries with repercussions for those boundaries, right? Because you didn't set that, now you went from an enforcer to an enabler. So now you're enabling the behavior by staying there with them, and you keep wondering why they're doing the same thing, when they're going to change, when they're going to do this. They're not going to, because you're not forcing them to. You're still rewarding them with your presence, with your energy, with your love, with your finances, and most of all, something you can't get back, with your time.
Rewarding the bad behavior.
And so in rewarding the bad behavior, you're not setting any kind of hard stops. If they know they can get away with it, why would they stop? That's why they keep doing it. And now you realize that you are the problem to the own question that you have for yourself and for the relationship. You're the answer and the problem. The problem is no longer them, because now you're enabling their behavior. So the problem is you.
Yeah.
If you're the one having an issue with said problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like they believe in them more than the person believes in themselves.
Listen, I had to tell a girl one time, I'm not going to believe and worry more about and be concerned more about your shit than you are. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to be more concerned about, because that means you don't care enough to deal with it. Then it's always going to be a problem. And since you don't deal with it, now I have to deal with it as a extra problem. And it's not my problem to begin with.
It's not.
A lot of the stuff these people are doing to y'all in these relationships, they were never your problem to begin with. They became a problem because you allowed it to be a problem. You didn't check it. You didn't have a hard stop. Okay, you went back a couple of times. They gave you whatever and they showed up and did just enough for you to come back. Yep. And then they fell right back into the same behavior, and you're wondering why you have the same outcome.
I would say to start over. Do not pass go.
Do not pass
go.
Do
not collect $200 and go back and look at you.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's you, because you keep putting up with it.
You keep putting up with it. You keep accepting it. You keep complaining about it. You keep staying on the merry-go-round, and it's plenty of ample time for you to get off. But you have Jedi mind tricked yourself because of your imagination, your socialization, and what you think. Because you haven't understood yourself and what you really want, you've Jedi tricked yourself into staying.
Yeah.
But then you complain about staying. So don't complain about staying if you're not going to do something about it.
Yep. Well, tonight has been interesting.
Hey, need to happen. Need to happen. Need to happen.
It was rough, but it was good.
It was needed.
It was needed.
Because we want y'all to not be on these unnecessary merry-go-rounds, these unnecessary roller coasters. Your life itself is a roller coaster by itself. You gonna add an extra passenger who ain't gonna help you steer, nothing. They just there. Like, what are they doing for you at this point in time besides causing you more stress that you know if you didn't have them in your life, they wouldn't be your life wouldn't be as stressful. As a matter of fact, I beg the question, why are you afraid to leave if they're causing you that much stress and problem?
Fear of being alone. It's hard to talk to you. People will tell me, I'm like, okay, so you need to spend some time with you. I spend time with me all the time. No, I mean, like dedicated time thinking about your thoughts, talking about what's going on with you.
Yeah.
I don't need to talk to myself. Only crazy people talk to they. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, it's not that they don't want to be alone. They just know that being alone means having to deal with themselves. And because they didn't deal with themselves before, they have to confront stuff they're not ready to confront. So now they're using that person as a distraction. So now they can complain about that person's behaviors. And it also gives them the reason to bitch and complain.
Well, if you are a female identified person and you want to deal with yourself, please come to group. If you would like to join the group, please go to theobsidianluxgroup.com and put in your email. Let me know that you want to be a part of the group. I'll send you the invitation because we are doing shadow work.
And shadow work is a very good look at yourself. Same thing for men. We're going to start group pretty soon, most likely in September. If you want to start group and get into group with us, please hit us up at the obsidianluxgroup.com. Click on Empower Him and fill out the form and say, hey, I want to join group and I want to join for services.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm hungry. Are you hungry?
I don't know. That's weird. I would normally say yeah, but I don't know.
I'm hot. I know that.
You keep fanning.
And I'm sweating. I'm misting again. But Sierra said, that I'm glowing.
You glowing? She thought it was glow? Yeah. She thought it was glow. She probably didn't have her glasses on.
Wow.
I'm just playing, CC. No. I'm just playing. No, you'd be glowing. I'm telling you, the star. I'm the co-host. Yeah.
You're my star.
I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take that. We can't do this on TV.
So we need to go.
We need to go. Bye, guys. I will see y'all next time, next Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Conversating, Conversing, and Relating. Y'all like, click, and share. Definitely subscribe. Do us a favor. It's a small task for you, but it really means a lot to us. Trying to grow our numbers. It really helps out. Thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we are out of here.
Bye.